Hello, everybody. You may have seen my last post on Twitter and a couple of posts I made last night about my Wycombe Wanderers football manager save. So I thought I'd go through and show you a majority of the transfers that I have made so far. It is quite early into pre-season, however, I don't believe that I have the wage budget to really sell anybody or bring anybody else in. So who I've got now at the start of pre-season basically is who I will have for the majority of this season. So I did play one match. I played Fleetwood Town and I beat them 4-0, which is a good start. So we go on the finances. I don't have all that much money left. I'm over budget by just a bit. So I'm hoping they give me a little bit more, but I don't think they will. You can see I've got a lot of players in on trial. I'm unlikely to be able to sign any of them. I think they're in the under 18s. Yeah, there's players here, and I did filter them out. So there are also players here. Matthew Smith was one I was very much interested in, but he would want a lot of money. 6.5, that's actually not as bad as I expected. I might actually go for him then. But if we go to tactics, we can see there is a similar team, but also there are definitely new players here. So we've got Southwood coming in from Cheltenham. He was in at Reading, went on loan to Cheltenham, did well in League One. Max Striek, he kicked up a fuss. He wanted a wage rise from 1.5k a week to 13k a week, and I did that was about 1/3 of my transfer budget or my wage budget, so I had to let him leave. He left for 600k, and actually if we go back we can see who else left. We go down to the bottom. Josh Gowan also left for 5k. He was leaving at the end of his contract. He didn't play all that well for me, to be perfectly honest with you. He was sitting in that defensive midfielder role. He does suit it. He got a 6.92 average, not what I was particularly looking for out of him. Apart from that, nobody else left. There was lone players who did leave. So we do have Southwood. We have Obita and McCarthy still here. Chris Frino-Joseph still here. And we have Caleb Watts, I believe. Kelland Watts can play left wing back, can play centre back. He's going to be my ball playing left centre back. I think he's just very solid, decent bit of potential. English, 23. Injury prone is not great, but he is also good in the air, consistent. He likes big matches. He's determined. He could be a good championship player. He came in on a free from Newcastle United, 5k a week. Actually, pretty good signing. Then we've got Xavier Simons. He comes in on loan from Chelsea. I have an affiliate with Chelsea, so I get their players for loan on loan for free, which is really important. He's a decent championship player, but he's definitely got the potential to improve. I think he's very good at rotating. He can play a lot of positions, and they've not asked me to play him in any specific position. But right now, he's playing as my defensive mid. We do have Lewis Wing and Dominic Gape as the two centre midfielders. I may start playing somebody else as that attacking playmaker, but Gape starts there for now. Izzy Brown as well, very, very well last season. As you can see, Izzy Brown and Lewis Wing are both unhappy. They both wanted new deals, and both wanted new deals that would make them a lot of money. I think I'm going to have to either hope they become less unhappy or at the end of this year just accept that they will both be leaving on free transfers, which is unfortunate. We have Dylan Stevenson come in from Newcastle United on about, I think it was 300k. Lots of potential, low wage. I think he looks like a good player. He's a good League One player, but I think there's definitely room to improve with him. At worst, I'll sell him on for a bit of money. And then perhaps the biggest person I brought in, Tyrese John Jules. I think he looks really, really solid. He's good technique, good work rate, good off the ball, decent Holy Trinity. He's not terribly slow, decent with both feet, 6'1" as well, not the best heading, but 13.25k a week, plus a lot of bonuses. I'm not going to be annoyed about paying out the bonuses if we do survive. We also have Luke Garber on the bench. He joined halfway through last season. We have, of course, Tafazoli and Willis. Kyle John comes in from Everton. Not amazing by any measure, but he was a fairly cheap transfer. He's a decent League One player. He can be a decent Championship player. He's here for 2 years. We have Dennis Adeniran. Was a Wycombe player back in our first season in Championship. He was going on the end of contract from Sheffield Wednesday. I thought as somebody who can play defensive mid, as somebody who can play centre mid, he can do them all fine. He can be a Championship player. I thought that was a solid pickup. We have Callum Webster on loan, and we have Zidane Iqbal again on loan. He was with the club on loan from Manchester United last year, has rejoined us again this year. But he'll be playing mostly as a squad player, I imagine, this year. Might start over Dominic Gape. Graham, probably the weakest player in the team. He's the inverted winger on the left. He's cheap. He'll be going at the end of his contract. Ben Knight, unfortunate, but Izzy Brown does play better overall, but he can play across the three attacking roles and in the striker role, which is important as rotation. Brandon Hanlon, Sam Vokes and Liam Bridcup. Liam Bridcup came in from Blackpool just to provide an extra layer in the defence. I might actually see if he wants to leave the club, get a little bit of wage budget. So we do have a transformed team. I am scouting for new. You can see I'm 1,000 and a bit down in wage budget. But I have strengthened the key areas. I wanted a new striker. I wanted a new centre-back. I needed a new goalkeeper. I needed a new midfielder. So I'm happy enough. I think we've also got yet 2 players potentially coming in from Chelsea on free loans. Not amazing, either of them, but they're both just good rotation. They can play a lot of places. People get injuries, people get hurt. They will step in. We do have pre-season. I have to add more fixtures to the pre-season. I'm micromanaging this very much, so I'm in charge of all the decisions, even hiring and firing on the 18 and on the 23 staff, and creating the fixtures. So I'll go through and make some fixtures at a later date. My first match is against actually Sunderland, which is, as we all remember, who beat us in the playoff final. If we look at the Championship, we're expected to avoid relegation. It was battle against relegation, but I upped the pressure by asking them for more money in the wage budget in return for avoiding relegation rather than battling against relegation. You can see Burnley won it last year. Watford is still in it. Sunderland, Sheffield United, Portsmouth, who beat us in the final game of the season, they did get promoted. We also have Ipswich, Hull, Crystal Palace got relegated. Bournemouth got relegated. Who was the other team to get relegated? Southampton. So there are some good teams. We look in the season preview. Yep, Southampton, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace got relegated. Ipswich expected to be 4th to 14th. Wycombe expected to finish 20th. They actually quite like the strengthened players we've brought in. You can see a lot of frees and a lot of loans. And I am quite happy with who we brought in. I think there's obviously definitely areas we can improve, but with the Championship, you're not going to be able to improve all in one season. As you can see, the finances, we are losing money. I'm hoping that'll get better with Championship TV money, that sort of thing. Maybe even some sales players like Stephenson and John Jules. John Jules, somebody comes in after a season for 3 or 4 million. I will take that because that's 3 or 4 million that I can reinvest in the rest of the squad. But yeah, I just wanted to do a short update on all the transfers I've brought in. I personally would be happy just avoiding relegation. I know it's going to be a battle. It's going to be difficult, of course. We are predicted to finish 2 places above it. But anything can happen. Rotherham, Portsmouth, Birmingham and Blackpool expected to finish below us, but Luton and Millwall on the same sort of odds as us, so that would be good. But you can see the quality of players. Mark Wehi, Romeo Lavia, Joachim Anderson, Eberechi Eze. I believe he's wanted. Yeah, we're not playing in the same way as the Wycombe man. Look at that. But there are some great players in this division. Our best player, for example, is probably Tyrese John Jules. Yeah, and he is rated all the way down here. Portsmouth are worse. Their two best players are both below mine. I probably will put in Zidane Iqbal. He is better than Dominic Gape. And actually, he has that link to Lewis Wing. It's going to be a fun season. It's going to be hard. I think there's a lot of players who are out of contract, and they will want quite heavy contracts. Yeah, look, that's the squad who are out of contract at the end of this season. Some of these players I will let go of. I think Brandon Hanlon. I think possibly Sam Vokes, Jordan Graham, Jordan Obita, Bridcut. I will let them go. I would prefer to keep Izzy Brown and Lewis Wing, but if they want a lot of money, I'm not going to be able to give it to them. So I will probably come back and do another video whenever I've played a couple of games. But otherwise, have a great day, everybody.